Hi, my name is Jackie Brennan and I'm from Vigil Health Management. The purpose of this video is to tell you about the Vigil Integrated Care Management System and to explain how to use it. This video also includes instructions for using the Vigil Nurse Call system, as well as operating instructions for pagers. In this video, we will discuss the philosophy behind the Vigil system, how the system works, and how you will use it to help care for residents. The Vigil system was designed by caregivers specifically to aid in the care of residents with Alzheimer's and other forms of dementia. As you know, residents with dementia are prone to memory loss. This makes it difficult to utilize a traditional nurse call system. The resident will often forget entirely what the button is for. This means that the resident does not know how to call for help when she needs it. The other challenge is that residents with dementia may find the interesting-looking, brightly colored button beside the bed and press it repeatedly. Caregivers are then running back and forth unnecessarily. The Vigil system was also developed with the idea that residents are most comfortable and at ease in home-like surroundings. Therefore, the Vigil system uses silent pagers to alert staff of calls instead of buzzers or flashing lights. The Vigil philosophy also emphasizes maximizing residents' independence, privacy, and dignity while ensuring their safety. It is important to note that the resident does not wear any device, tag, or bracelet that could become easily lost if removed, or worse, could agitate the residents if unable to remove it themselves. Instead, the Vigil system uses motion sensors in the resident's room to track the movement of the resident. These sensors send information back to a central computer where the resident's care plan resides. The computer compares the resident's movement to his or her care plan. When the resident's movement is different from that care plan, staff are alerted. Let's take a closer look at the sensors and the care plan. Each resident's room has a motion sensor in the entry doorway, one in the middle of the room and one in the doorway to the ensuite or bathroom. As you walk into the room, the door sensor is activated. Then the room sensor is activated. You can see the red light turn on when the sensor is activated. This combination, door sensor, then room sensor, tells the computer that someone has entered the room. If a resident is in the room and then leaves the room sensor is activated first, then the door sensor. This tells the computer that someone has left the room. When the ensuite or bathroom sensor is activated, this tells the computer that someone has entered the bathroom. Each resident may also have a bed exit pad on his or her bed. The bed exit pad lays on top of the mattress and under the fitted sheet, and the cord plugs into the bed sensor outlet on the wall. Certain pads may require an adapter such as this one for connection to the bed sensor outlet. When the resident is lying on the bed exit pad, the green light on the bed sensor outlet is lit. A signal is sent to the computer telling it that the resident is in bed. When the resident moves off the pad, after a short delay, the green light on the bed sensor outlet goes out. The delay is built in to prevent false alarms when the resident moves off the pad for just a second. When the green light goes out, a signal is sent to the computer telling it that the resident is out of bed. Always check that the green light is on when the resident is in bed to ensure that the pad is working properly. Some residents may also require incontinence sensors. These sensors are foil mats that lie on the mattress on top of the fitted sheet. The cable from the incontinence sensor also plugs into the bed sensor outlet. You can plug either cable into either socket. When the resident is incontinent of urine, the red light on the bed sensor outlet is lit, and a signal is sent to the computer telling it that the resident has wet the bed. The final device is the staff cancel switch, which is located outside the resident's room. This switch looks just like a light switch you might have in your house. It is the reset switch used to cancel Vigil calls. When you receive a Vigil call, you go to the room to tend to the resident. Just before you go into the room, turn the staff cancel switch off to tell the computer that you have responded to the call. This is just like a traditional nurse call system where you must press a cancel or reset button. When this switch is turned off, in the down position, it also turns the sensors in the room off. If you turn the switch off before you go into the room, you won't activate any calls. As we just saw, each time a sensor is activated in the room, a call can be generated on the computer. Now, if we received a call each time every resident got out of bed, that would be a lot of calls. This would also be unnecessary because not every resident needs assistance every time they get out of bed. The purpose of the Vigil system isn't to tell staff every single thing a resident is doing, but to alert you when a resident is doing something that is not considered safe. But how does the computer know when to alert you? The Vigil computer contains a care plan for each resident. This care plan is set up by the person responsible for care planning in your facility, usually the Director of Nursing. Let's look at the care plan for Mrs. Smith. Mrs. Smith is in room D10. She usually goes to bed for the night around 9 o'clock p.m. and gets up in the morning at 7 o'clock a.m. Her room sensors are set to start monitoring at 9 and stop at 7. During the night, the following rules have been activated. Rules in the Vigil system are simply the safe activities for that resident. When the resident's activities are not within these rules, staff are alerted. Mrs. Smith's room entered rule is activated and set to 0 minutes. That means if someone enters her room between 9 o'clock p.m. and 7 a.m., staff will get a call right away. Her room departed rule is activated and set to 0 minutes. That means if she leaves the room between 9 o'clock p.m. and 7 a.m., staff will also be alerted right away. Her out-of-bed rule is set to 15 minutes. This means that if she is off the bed exit sensor for longer than 15 minutes, staff will be alerted. Her in-ensuite rule is set to 10 minutes. That means if she enters the bathroom and does not leave within 10 minutes, staff will be alerted. Let's watch Mrs. Smith in action. At 8:30 p.m., Mrs. Smith goes to bed. She takes about 20 minutes to settle. At 9 o'clock p.m., the computer automatically turns the rules on for her room. At 11:15, Mrs. Smith gets out of bed and leaves the room. Staff immediately get a room departed call. 11:30 p.m., Mrs. Smith goes back to bed after having a glass of milk. At 2 o'clock a.m., Mrs. Smith gets out of bed and goes into the bathroom. She leaves the bathroom at around 8 minutes after 2 and returns to bed. This time, the staff don't receive a call because she is within that rule. At 4:15 a.m., she gets up and goes to the bathroom again. This time, she slips and falls on the water splashed from the sink. At 4:25 a.m., 10 minutes later, she still hasn't left the bathroom. Staff now get an in-ensuite call. Staff immediately attend to the situation. Now we have seen where the calls come from. Next, we will discuss what you need to do when you get a call. When a call is raised, the message will appear on the nursing station computer. This message will also be sent to the pagers of the staff who are responsible for this resident's room. A record of every call is also kept in the computer's call history log. This allows you to print reports and identify resident behavior patterns. Your pager will vibrate to indicate that a call is being received. The first thing you need to do is read the message being sent to you. This message will describe the call you need to attend to. We have already seen some examples of messages you will receive. The next step is to respond. Go to the location indicated on your pager. For example, room D10 or room B12. The next step is a very important step. Before you go into the room, you must turn the staff cancel switch off. This will cancel the call so you don't continue to receive the same message on your pager. This will also turn the room sensors off so you don't generate new calls while you are in there. It is very important to remember to turn the staff cancel switch off. The Vigil system has a built-in safety feature that reminds you of any calls that haven't been attended to. This means that if you do not reset that switch, the system will think that no one has been to take care of the resident, and you will continue to receive the same message on your pager. Once you have read the message, gone to the location, and turned off the staff cancel switch, enter the resident's room and attend to his or her needs. On the way back out of the room, turn the staff cancel switch back on. Now you have turned the room sensors back on to monitor the resident. If you happen to walk away from the room and forget to turn the switch back on, you will get a message on your pager telling you that the staff switch is off in that room. You must go back to the room and turn the switch on. The final step is to erase the message from your pager. Again, instructions for using pagers will be supplied to your facility during training. Ask your supervisor for a copy. Let's review how to respond to a call. Read, respond, cancel, attend, reset, erase. We hope that this video has helped you to understand both the need for the Vigil system and how to use it. If you have further questions, please refer to the supplied training materials or ask your supervisor. Thank you for watching.